This is One Leeds. Welcome back to the latest video. This video, as always, is sponsored by Shop GNO, The Job Match Group, and Match Bingo. Let's get into it. First up, the Job Match Group. Whether you're looking for your next big gig or just browsing, the Job Match Group has niche job sites made just for you. F1, retail, security, and loads more. They're about matching the right person to the right job. Make sure you check them out if you're ready to level up your career. Then we've got Shop GNO, an exciting new e-commerce site where you can grab exclusive deals and discounts. Right now, One Leeds has an affiliate link just below where you can score a 25 quid membership for free, unlocking special rates and benefits. You can even list your own shop on there with way better rates than Amazon, eBay, and Vinted. They've got some Leeds bits and some general bits now and launching soon, plus some great prizes just for signing up. This is all powered by a massive Leeds United fan looking to make waves in the online shopping world. So check them out and support your local. And don't forget our mates at Match Bingo. They're smashing it with footy fun. You can get 5 bingo cards for the price of 4 through One Leeds, and you can even deposit just a £5 at a time to join the action. It's a big chance to win whilst having a blast with your fellow Leeds United friends. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Check the links in the description, and let's get on with the video. Well, hello everybody. My name is Conor McGilligan. This is One Leeds. We are back with another show for you. What is going on in your world? And to be honest, guys, a little bit of a somber start to the video. Yeah, not just absolutely taking the wind out of my sails, to be honest with you. It's obviously come on here and I'm very, energetic and full of life, very vivacious when it comes on here and connecting with my community, of course. But some absolutely horrific news this morning, which has just broke or has broken about maybe an hour ago, but relative just to the last 24 hours, it's very recent. Diogo Jota, Liverpool player, Portugal player, just fantastic football player who I very much enjoyed watching, has passed away, which is truly, truly horrific news. A week after, I believe, getting married to his partner, he was on the road with his brother, according to reports, and both of them, him and his brother Andre, have both died in a car accident, which is absolutely horrific news. And it just shows people, like, take care of your loved ones. It's this life that we have is extremely short. We are over when it comes to the universe and everything like that in an instant. We are going to be it's just so quick, this life, and sometimes you just cannot predict what happens, and that is, if it was a family member of yours, and just with, you can't just imagine what his family are going through right now. So I just wanted to come on here initially and not come on with the normal energy I have, because I've just been reading around it, and it's just awful, absolutely awful. So rest in peace, Diogo Jota and his brother Andre. Yeah, absolutely horrendous. 3 young kids as well. Truly, truly awful news. Okay, very, very somber, but we do have to move on, don't we? But yeah, rest in peace, obviously, Diogo Jota, and not that it means anything coming from One Leeds, but respect and condolences and heartfelt go out to his family. But let's get on to it, everybody. Let's get on to today's Leeds news. So, yeah, before we start the video as well, everybody, do us a favor, slap a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. If you're not subscribed to the channel, there was a bit yesterday where I uploaded a video. There's quite a few of you who actually aren't subscribed to the channel. I think it's something like 42% of you. And people were saying, Conor, we didn't see your latest upload. And I said, well, you subscribed? One lad messaged me. And he said, no, not yet. And I said, well, that's why, you need to switch that notification bell on, all notifications. And I uploaded yesterday at 2 p.m. So during the transfer window, it can be a little bit of a merry-go-round when it comes to uploads. So make sure, guys, you are subscribed or you just won't see the video. No, sometimes you just don't get that notification on your phone. So make sure you do that. But it's good to see all the regulars in here as well. We're going to get straight into the transfer news, because I know you're doing the right thing, everybody, and showing your respect for the late Diogo Jota and his brother Andre. But we are going to get into it immediately, and then we'll obviously move on when it comes to the transfer thoughts. So Calcio Lecce are reporting yesterday, very, very recently, about Nikola Krstovic. Now, Krstovic has gone extremely quiet over the last sort of 2 weeks. And I always say there's no smoke without fire. Sometimes there can be a little bit of a quiet period, and then something can happen. Something can blow up, and we've seen that multiple times when it's come to transfers. Nikola Krstovic, according to Calcio Lecce, which is a very localized, specific publication when it comes to Lecce out there, obviously the club that Nikola plays for, apparently he just doesn't want to come. He's not excited by the link with Leeds United, according to reports. And we've heard this before when it came to Tutto Mercato out there. We've also heard it when it comes to Sky Italy. And now we're hearing it from a very localized source when it comes to Lecce. So I'm kind of at that point when it comes to like Nikola Krstovic. And when it comes to players like this, I don't care. We'll move on then. And the price apparently, according to Calcio Lecce now, we were discussing last week that it was going to be between 25 and 30 million euros. According to this publication yesterday, it is likely to be 30 million pounds, everybody. 30 million pounds, so upward of 33, 34 million euros. It just feels like the agent and it feels like Nikola Krstovic has an idea of what they want to do. I like him. I like a lot of his attributes. I think he's a very instinctive centre forward. I think he's good with both feet. I like him in and around the box. I think there's a real variation to his play. But 34 million euros, 35 million euros, because there's going to be add-ons in there as well. Just walk away. And I hope kind of if these reports are true, of which, it's reports here, there, and everywhere, but there are a lot of reports now suggesting that he just doesn't want to come to Leeds. He's not interested. He wants to stay in Italy. There's Roma and there's Milan who are interested as well. There's absolutely no way. Italian clubs don't throw around that money that often. There's no way you are getting a Roma in particular or even a Milan who are going to be going in and paying 30 million pounds this guy. Juve were apparently interested, but according to Sky Italia, they've been put off by the price as well. So Lecce have got an interesting choice to make right now. We know with Krstovic that he will be an asset. Obviously, he's only 25 years of age to Lecce. So they're not going to be so keen on getting rid of him anyway. But if they want to bring in a profit for him, they've got to be. There's got to be. I mean, it's getting higher and higher and higher when it comes to this valuation, when it comes to this guy. And it's because multiple clubs are interested in his services. So they are facilitating, and it's fair play to Lecce, but somewhat of a bidding war. But I don't think a bid has gone in yet officially. I think there's been a lot of inquiries, a lot of fluctuation when it comes to bids. And I think Lecce know that they can bargain the clubs off against each other. But if sources close to Nikola Krstovic are saying that he doesn't want to come to Leeds, which I find bizarre. Like, I find it a bit bizarre that, look, I get the climate. I understand. Look, if I could bring my family and you lot out to Italy, I could bring you lot out to Italy, to be fair. Maybe I'll just leave my girlfriend and we'll all go to Italy. How about that? Leave my girlfriend, family, leave them all at home. Let's go to Italy. Let's do it. One Leeds in Italy forever. Screw it. We'll link up with Nick. Anyway, Connor. But no, I think it's one of those where at least come and test yourself. You're at a point in your career right now where a Premier League move could make you or break you. But if it could make you, it could put you properly on that world stage with it being the best league in the world. Maybe he just doesn't fancy it. Who knows? Maybe he just doesn't fancy the Premier League challenge. But I don't know, at his stage in his career to not fancy. Maybe it is just the level that Leeds are at, and maybe we just have to have a little bit of a look at ourselves. Maybe he just doesn't want to come to a relegation threatened team who are likely to go down. And maybe he just thinks to himself, do you know what? I don't want to risk that. I don't want a relegation release clause in my contract. So I have to come back to Italy or go to another club because my numbers have gone down the pan. But for me, in those situations, you've just got to back yourself. You've just got to back yourself. So, yeah. Let's get on to Colin. Hi, Colin. Good to see you in here, pal. Looking like some good moves our way. Not sure if you've seen the news this morning. Rest in peace, Diogo Jota. Very sad. We have indeed, Cole. We've touched on that at the very start, mate. Stanley, we're going to get into your comment as well, pal. So thank you so much for your donation, buddy. Thank you. Really appreciate that one. Let's see how many of you are in the building. Love to do this every morning. Interesting for me. We've got 800 of you in the building, guys. We have 200 likes. Make sure you slap those likes up. The algorithm is working against us nowadays, which is nice and fun. So make sure you slap those likes up. On the rumor yesterday, got 2,000 likes. Could we get 2,100, which would be a record breaker? Thank you so much. We don't want him. Stop talking about what he wants. Okay. Just saw the news. Stacked to Sunderland, 30 million. Here we go. It's a fake account, mate. It's a fake account. Okay, could we not get a more well-known established striker for that price? No, no chance we go higher than 30 million. Completely agree with that, mate. Yeah, definitely, 100%. Good morning, Connor. Leeds AG. I don't know what's going on here, pal. This is the rumor mill. It's a rumor. This is what we talk about, mate, on the channel. I don't know if this is a late night Leeds. I see you've got my former show on your profile. Brilliant. Why have you got late night Leeds on there, mate? I'm confused. I used to do a show called Late Night Leeds about 5 years ago. I don't know if that's why he's got it on his profile picture, but shout out to you, mate. Shout out to you. But yeah, this, if you are late to show, this is the rumor mill. We talk with, it's almost like a little bit of a rumor rater. Krstovic, I don't think will come to Leeds. There's conversations around Krstovic that Leeds have been interested. They've been in contact. That is the rumor, mate. That's what we talk about on the mornings. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. It isn't the confirmation mill. It isn't the accuracy mill. It's just going through everything. It is just rumors. Daniel Leeds says, good morning. Buenos dias, Connor. What's happening in your world? Hopefully we're going to talk so exciting strikers today. Daniel Leeds, maybe, my friend. Maybe. Good to see you here. Reckon Loriente was spotting was Mobius. Source already back pedaling. Yeah, okay, apparently that. Just heard the Bremner statue is off up to Sunderland. Yeah, it does feel like Sunderland are just. I mean, look, we can talk about Sunderland if you want. If you guys want to talk about Sunderland and that whole thing, we can do if you want. Chris says, I personally don't feel Krstovic is anything special, and there are better options out there. Yes, mate, I wouldn't deny that. I wouldn't deny that whatsoever. Okay, let's move on to the next rumor on the mill, shall we, everybody? This one is an interesting one. Charlie Cresswell, West Ham. Looks like apparently Potter and co down at West Ham and the scouting network in and around the Emmers are very, very keen on Charlie Cresswell. Also, obviously, has had a decent time out in Toulouse. Obviously, a Leeds prospect, of which the ironic thing about this whole thing is Cresswell was probably most remembered for his appearance and performance against Mikel Antonio in the Premier League. Obviously, West Ham beat us 2-1 on that day, an absolute heartbreaking end to the game with Mikel Antonio scoring and giving Cresswell a little bit of the slip. But if you remember, it was his full Premier League debut. Cresswell played really, really well. He had to fill in, obviously, for injuries. I think at that time he'll have been 19 years of age as well. And Cresswell came in and was superb in that game. He was just really unlucky. And at that point, obviously, Antonio was at the peak of his powers and was just an absolute brute. And any sort of Leeds defender that had gone up against him at that moment would have really struggled. So, yeah, Charlie Cresswell, I think we all know that the level that he's playing at now when it comes to the under 21s, I think he's about when it comes to the England setup, he's always going to get that notoriety. So he's playing up. I think this would be an excellent move for him. Leeds obviously have got a 15% sell-on clause according to reports, so 15 million. Leeds to get a decent chunk when it comes to that. I don't mind it. I guess the slight frustration when it comes to Charlie is he was one of our own. He is one of our own, and it would kind of be nice. I think it would have been nice to see Cresswell come through the ranks, at least to just stick on with him a little bit. We didn't do that, and for 4 million quid, and you just can't help but think that the spat with, or the kind of spat when Richard Cresswell, his dad, formerly of Leeds United, came out and mentioned something about Farke, maybe just saw Charlie get out the door a little bit quicker. But for 4 million quid, I mean, Leeds United selling at points has just been outrageous. So, especially when it comes to youth products. But Charlie Cresswell, and let's hope that doesn't repeat itself with Mateus Joseph. But yeah, it looks like obviously, you know, with him going to Toulouse, 4 million quid, his reputation's still growing when it comes to that England development. And obviously now West Ham are looking at him, and it would make complete sense, you know. But what an elevation that is for Cresswell. Obviously, you know, formerly of Millwall. I'm sure the Millwall fans won't like that. Go into their rivals, but there we go. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm also shocked to hear it, mate. Mike's in the building. Hi, Mike. What's going on, buddy? We should put an offer in for Harvey Elliott. Quality with huge potential. I agree, buddy. Morning, Connor. Loving the top. Jay, which one do you prefer, mate? Do you prefer the blue one? Do you prefer the... Actually, I'll go get it, mate. I'll go get it. It's some top in it. It is some. Every time I look at it, I'm just like, I mean, which are we preferring, guys? It's. Do you know what I think with this? I just think Bridges. Bridges number 8 on the back. That's what I wanted, but I just couldn't find it. Bridges number 8, and with this, which one do I think of with this? I don't know if this was before Bowyer. Might have been before Bowyer. Maybe I'm thinking Bowyer with Strongbow. I'm not sure, but we'll just never get back to these kits, will we? I've already seen the leak new kit, and we're not going through that, but it's just not a fan of it. But look at that. Imagine if look at this. It's just world class. Yeah, no, Farke screwed this up with Cresswell. Something went on, didn't it? But selling him for 4 million quid is a little bit upsetting. The issue with Charlie was stuck in limbo at the time. He wasn't first team, but too good for reserve. He was going regardless of price, but wasn't ideal, but inevitable. I understand that, mate. Oh, yellow, blue, okay. I understand that completely, but selling him for 4 million quid is just, for me, it's just absolutely outrageous. Let's have a look at some more of the comments. In full swing with Conor. Some of the originals are on here. Some of the originals. Good to see you there. Sunderland are interested in Betty the Tea Lady, according to some people here. Sunderland may steal your shirt, Conor. It's getting a bit outrageous, this, isn't it? Okay, let's get on to Lucas Perri. The Lyon goalkeeper has been... I didn't want to talk about this again, so we will talk about... I'm actually sick of talking about this club in this window. It just feels, obviously, with Illan Meslier. I mean, this is a circle of which you don't want to get into. Right. They were interested in Meslier. We also know that Fenerbahce were interested in Meslier. That appears to have gone a little bit quiet, but at the beginning of the week, news broke from Ekrem Kona, obviously rumor again, Ekrem Kona, that apparently Fenerbahce were having Illan Meslier in Turkey, Istanbul this week to complete a medical. Talks were ongoing between Leeds and his camp. This has been a thing for a while. And according to Kona, he was going in this week, complete his medical. So great news. Fantastic. Getting Illan Meslier off the books, getting a decent price. The rumored fee was in around 10 million quid as well. I thought it'd be max 5 that you'd be able to get for him. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one if that does get to another level. But also, there was news and there was talk about the other club being interested in Illan Meslier, the other club over there. So conversations were being had apparently before Fenerbahce, but news has come out this morning, according to TNT. TNT out in Turkey, reports out there are suggesting that apparently Lucas Perri has agreed terms with them, and it's not actually TNT, it's BN Sports, I should say. Apparently, the terms have been agreed, personal terms with Lucas Perri, but there's been no actual confirmation about the signing. But apparently, there has been terms that have been agreed. We'll have to wait and see, everybody. As I say, once again, we always say on here, it's just the rumor. It's not the confirmation or consolidation mill. That is normally a separate video when it comes to if that happens. But yeah, apparently he is very much on the hit list of them. And apparently they are in conversations with his camp. And obviously what we can't offer them, what we can't offer him at this moment in time is Europe, which maybe is something that Perri is interested in, allegedly. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Let us know what you think in the comment section below to that one. Opinions on Bournemouth confirming Rothwell to Rangers. Yeah, I think it's great, mate. Yeah, good for him. I think it's good. Yeah, I know. And look, I'm not a fan of the badge being on the page, but there we go. They are interested in him, and it's, you know, when we're talking about Meslier and we're talking about the goalkeeper that we're apparently really interested in, that we all really want. Apparently they are maybe a little bit closer than what we are. Leeds have just interested at this moment in time. Further reports over there are saying that apparently we've inquired, but they are apparently in discussions and a little bit further advanced than Leeds United. So there we go. Yeah, but Rothwell, I think that's great for him. Happy for him. I think he'll do well up there. Would I have taken him back at Leeds United? Guys, I'm not attached to football players like I know a lot of people are. I do have footballers that I absolutely love. Of course, we're all very aware of that. And if you do follow the channel, you know you're aware of the ones that I do enjoy. But I enjoyed Joe Rothwell massively. Backed him last year massively, but I am not of the opinion that he should be playing for Leeds United in the Premier League. He was fit for purpose at that point, and I'm actually really happy that Leeds are kind of that mindset right now, where it's like, Joe's not good enough for the Premier League. Maybe Man or Solomon, we can get an improvement on what we want right now. Rumours close to, I mean, if you read online, some of the rumours, they're suggesting that we didn't actually offer Junior Firpo this juicy offer that was reported a long while ago. Hopefully we won't have that sentiment with Byram either, but that's gone extremely quiet, weirdly. Verber is leaving. So there's a lot of insinuation here that Leeds are being a little bit more cold and ruthless than what we previously were, which is good news, No news on Hamer just yet. big whoop playing in that league with no chance to go anywhere in the Champions League. Yeah, Lofts, I'd love to, mate. And you've all done the same thing there. You've all done the same thing, but unfortunately, I can't. It is pulled through a data pack, so apologies for that. We will move on. Okay, Leeds United, according to Tutto Juve, which once again we spoke about Calcio Lecce before, and then being a very localized source when it comes to Lecce. Tutto Juve is another one of these, and one of their official journalists on the Tutto Juve page has reported this morning that apparently Leeds United have actually gone as far to asking about Tim Weah. Everton haven't gone that far yet. Apparently, they're aware that Everton are interested, but apparently Leeds United have now asked Juve about Timothy Weah. Now, this follows obviously from reports earlier on that Leeds were waiting and ready to make a bid for Tim Weah of in and around 20 million quid. That was the rumor, but apparently now Tutto Juve have reported this morning that that obviously their lead journalist has suggested that Leeds have actually inquired about Timothy Weah. Now, this once again comes off the back of the news that Nottingham Forest bid was rejected, or the negotiation with Timothy Weah broke down because of stuff and conditions that apparently Forest weren't happy with. Forest weren't happy with some of the conditions that Juve and Weah wanted. They walked away. And then the clubs that have been interested post that have been Everton and Leeds United. Something to bear in mind when it comes to that forward line as well with Tim Weah is that Everton have now just signed Tieno Barry, which, yeah, I mean, that is I kind of just think to myself there when it comes to Everton, where Everton going to be this season? There's always a conversation with Everton that they're going to be in around the battling out the bottom and all this sort of stuff. And it's Moyes, and a lot of people don't whatever for whatever reason back Moyes. But what you do kind of have to bear in mind is they could be building a bit of a squad here, a bit of a squad as well that's going to help them in counter attack and transition. They've just got Jared Branthwaite down to a long term deal. If they can bring in a right sided player like Timothy Weah who can play centre forward, and Tieno Barry as well, it's really decent recruitment. I know there's a lot of people who don't rate Timothy Weah. I like Timothy Weah. I think for a particular style, I think he'd fit really, really nicely. And on that transition, when you're trying to effectively work in a low to mid block and then hit teams on that break, I think Timothy Weah works quite well. And I think he'd work quite well with a lot of our wingers as well. And if he is on that right hand side, if he is on that right hand side, maybe his rotation with someone like Dan James, I don't mind it whatsoever. But once again, it does depend on that value. So, okay, Petrovic Clear Con. Yeah, you've not got him yet, mate. You've not got him yet. Connor, have a look. Ermedin Demirovic for striker from Stuttgart. 15 goals, 1 assist last season. Season before he scored 15 goals, 11 assists. He only wanted 20 games. I think we spoke about him, Macaulay. I think we spoke about him not long ago on the channel, Demirovic. I'm sure we did. But, with the amount of players that we speak about per day and just in general per week, we may have missed that one. But yes, I am aware of him, mate. I am aware of him. 100%. Fofana is dodgy. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what you're saying. Fofana is dodgy. Yeah, there's some random comments. There's some random comments in here. Chris says, an American from Juve worked out so well last time. Exactly. Mr. McKenny. Yeah, it will be a top sign. It's good to see us being linked to players of this caliber. I think the thing is with it as well, you get Leeds linked because, Leeds have got eyes. And when Leeds get the eyeballs, probably similar to that of Sunderland as well. But you are going to link Leeds United with some of these players because it gets clicks every single time. And you always see the Leeds fans massively reacting to it. Our social media presence is absolutely massive. And you see it all the time. If Leeds are linked to a player, there's actually points at which Leeds' social media interactions, and this is coming from my background as well, which has been in social media and journalism. You just see the rates and some of the data from behind the scenes. And even when I was working at different publications, you would see Leeds being put up there with literally the top 4, 5, 6 clubs, especially when we're in the Premier League. It's outrageous the social media interactions we get. So when everything is on an online world right now, you kind of do look at these agents. This is why it's great for the room milk. It's a bit of DDD, discussion, discourse, and debate. But the irritating thing about it sometimes is Leeds are always going to get linked to some of maybe the mid-bracket players and the mid to low bracket players because we're such an online presence, So it can be a bit mental. It can be a bit mental. when it comes to it. A private jet from Stockholm landing 120 at LBA. As long as this one isn't queuing for McDonald's like Big Wilson. Bob's in the building. Hi, Bob. Hi, Connor. Just joined, so I've missed this. Excuse me. Just wanted to send thoughts and prayers to Diogo Jota's family. Yeah, you bang on there, pal. Bang on there. Heartbreaking news. Seen new training gear, totally spoiled by mega size Red Bull logo. Hope there are some to dig up without it. Didn't he turn down Forest? Can't see him coming. No, mate. Forest turned him down because they didn't like the conditions of the deal, apparently. Okay, so take it with a pinch of salt. Take it with a pinch of salt. But today, this guy is listed as a Premier League player on the official site, which is quite interesting, isn't it, when it comes to Gabby Gudmundsson? And let me try find it. Let's see if he... Okay, yep, we've got it right here. So, obviously, strangely, it's got him listed right here, which you would have to go and make him an official Premier League player. I'm just getting it up for you guys here, just so we can actually, I just want to show you it because some of you won't have seen it so far. I know a lot of you aren't obsessed with social media and all this sort of stuff. Some of you don't even have social media. So this has been reported and sent to me several times this morning. So I just want to show you this. Gabriel Gudmundsson, strangely, is listed as a Premier League player. And you don't get that a lot. Swedish nationality, obviously, as you can see there. And that is on the official Premier League site. So there are a lot of reports as well. A lot of reports. And what this needs to say here is done deal question mark. But it feels like it's getting to that point right now. I am more than happy with this. Now, if it is a done deal, there's a lot of people on socials saying, it's all, a lot of ITKs and bats and the other saying it's done, it's done. Obviously, we know the specific forum, which we're all aware of when it comes to Leeds United fans saying it's done over there as well. Obviously, Gudmundsson saying very glowing things about Leeds in the Premier League a week ago. Leal's president very recently saying he expects him to leave. It all feels like it's aligning now with Leeds United. And there is no official report that it is a done deal, as you can see on here. But what it is insinuating is, for me, this is going to be the next deal. It's got to be the next deal with I mean, just this in essence anyway, is a very clear sign potentially that this is going to be a deal of which Leeds are going to get done next. We've spoke about on the room mill. It feels like everything's linking. It feels like with Firpo as well, moving on, that this makes sense to be the next deal. To be the next deal. So we will have to wait and see what happens with it. There's no further news when it comes to Gudmundsson, but him being listed on the Premier League site is interesting. Now, a lot of people will be saying stuff like, Connor, there are other players listed on the site as well. And I've said that to people as well. But I am just I'm hooking everything in. I'm hooking everything in right now for this guy. But yeah, there are multiple players that you can get on there, of course. But I'm with all the rumors, with him being on the Premier League site, I'm just ignoring everything. Look, someone will be able to say to me now, Connor, you'll be able to find flipping Ronaldo on there. But I'm not. I think it's with all the rumors right now, it is quite interesting how it all seems to be formulating right now after those quotes last week. So we will have to wait and see on that one, of course. Messi to Leeds, exactly. Mark Adams, yeah, it feels like that's the rumor, doesn't it? When it comes to a certain forum talking about it quite a lot as well. Resident Alien says, "Well, good morning, Connor. Hoping we get one or two signings before the weekend. Definitely." Is Football Guru any good as a source saying the Swedish left back and Armand Lariente have been at Thorpe Arch since yesterday? I think the Football Guru is a little bit on and off. No disrespect to him, but I think he's a little bit on and off when it comes to it. So I don't know. I've seen some people hammer him. I've seen some people say he's a good source. But Loriente, imagine if that ever got sorted with Leeds United. Does that mean I'm a scout? Good morning, Gudmundsson. Yeah, seeing it go around, mate. Seeing it go around. Misspell Sam Byron. People saying Gudmundsson, has he signed for Sunderland, Connor? He hasn't, mate, not yet. And shout out to you, Stanley. I have seen that he's listed as a Premier League player indeed. I think that's the bit of it, isn't it? He's listed as a Premier League player. Obviously, players like Lionel Messi aren't. So, but yes, we'll have to wait and see on that one, of course, won't we? We'll have to wait and see on that one. Okay. Let's move on to the next rumor, shall we? Let's move on. Stacky boy, this is more discussion. This is more debate. And I know there's Sunderland fans in here. I think why I'm putting Stach in pretty much every single video, once again, there's still a lot of rumors behind him being a big target of Daniel Farke's. I think the interesting thing with Anton Stach is how we feel. And that's why I just wanted to talk about him this morning, because I did a video yesterday and it was on Siddiqui, it was on Habib Diarra, it was on Petrovic, and you know the link I'm going to here when it comes to Sunderland. A lot of Leeds fans were messaging me yesterday. I had about 18 DMs on Instagram. I had about 6 DMs as well on Twitter. People on the YouTube, am I my dad? Don't know. But people on YouTube discussing how, it's a problem that Sunderland are coming in and taking all of our targets. I think how we've got to look at Sunderland, and this seems to be still a trending topic this morning, how we've got to look at Sunderland is, have they brought in players that are going to improve their squad? Absolutely. Absolutely. Habib Diarra and Noah Siddiqui coming in for Sunderland is very, very good progress and very good development when it comes to obviously them letting Joe Bellingham go. That is seriously impressive. You've got ball carriers in there. You've got really good players in the duel. You haven't got that 6'3" physicality and athleticism that obviously Joe brings, and ball carrying to his extent, I think. And obviously that's down to his stride length, the fact that he can probably cover ground with one step more than Siddiqui and Diarra can do with about four, with them being small players. But overall, I'm okay with it. But in my head, I'm a little bit like, as long as we get Anton Stach done, I'm okay with it. And look, there will be rumors coming out, and there will be, if we don't get Anton Stach done, he was somebody we spoke about really early on the channel, and I didn't think he'd be anywhere near somebody we could go near, literally. But you do wonder if Sunderland will come in and get Anton Stach. No, I'm joking. But I do think to myself, I'd be fine with it. And we've got a certain profile. We spoke about it yesterday. We've got Ball now. We've got Strout now. We've got Rodon now. We've got Bogle, who's not small. If Gabby Gudmundsson comes in as well, he's not a small left back. If you go and get Anton Stach in that midfield, I mean, Dan James is going to be like this, isn't he? But you kind of do look at Leeds physically, and you do look at us in terms of height. We're a relatively small team. We are. Joel Peru is deceptively tall, around about 6'1". But aside from that, it's quite a small team. It is quite a small team when you look at Tanaka, you look at Ampadu. People were trying to tell me Ampadu's 6 foot tall. Not a chance. Ethan Ampadu is 6 foot tall. I don't care what he's listed as. I've seen Ethan Ampadu in person. There's no way he's 6 foot tall. I can tell you that for a fact. You look at everywhere else as well. You look at Dan James, you look at William Yonte, look at Largi Ramazani. Leeds are a relatively small team. So I think they're going down a really interesting route when it comes down to just developing that physicality and focusing on that. So I quite like what Underwood's doing there. Focusing on that physicality and athleticism, and can they play football? So it is that profile of your Czech Decore, your Thomas Souček, which people wanted, these proven players. So it is that type of player. But the difference is it's costing us a little bit less. But when you do look at Siddiqui, when you do look at Diarra, are they razors for Sunderland? 100%. Is Petrovic a razor on Patterson? 100%. Enzo Lafay, and there's a bit of a conversation there as to whether or not that's a good signing. Obviously, I know that became an obligation, but I mentioned this on my video yesterday. I do like the fact that Leeds haven't done that. I do like the fact that Leeds haven't turned these loans or these, end of contract scenarios into permanence. I like that. That's very unleadsy. So, I mean, the only stipulation, the only problem when it's coming back to Leeds is Jack Harrison, which some of the rhetoric. We can talk about that if you want in the DDD. We can talk about that. My goodness. But when it comes to Leeds' ruthlessness, I'm enjoying it. So if Stach's to come in, and we're not to get Siddiqui and Diarra, don't mind it whatsoever. I'll be honest, I like the blend anyway, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And him coming in fits a very stylistic approach that Leeds are bringing, in my opinion, or approaching when it comes to the Premier League this season, which I like. Stoke 2.0. Right? Fan of it. Don't mind it whatsoever. So you've got brutes who are going to be able to compete as well, hopefully on a technical level. Okay, let's have a look at what you guys are saying as well. Finn says, love that Man U's biggest problem is attacking a low block, and that's what we look like we're going to do. 100%. Bob says, Amperu's 5'11". A stretch, mate. I'm telling you, it's a stretch. We got bullied by teams last season. Louis says, Anton Stach and Tanaka in midfield sounds lovely. Yeah, it depends on the formation, doesn't it? Depends on the formation, but yeah. Paul says, Connor, please don't big up any more players Sunderland might be looking at. Seems Sunderland are tracking every player we're tracking. There's flight paths going on here by Fury. Fury the Fifth, shout out to you, buddy. Are we only able to sign 26-year-olds? That would be an interesting and very specific metric, mate. I doubt that somehow. Bryn says, marching on together. Can't wait for Manchester United on the 19th. Shout out to you, Bryn. Thanks for your donation, buddy. Really appreciate that, buddy. Frosty says they finished 24 points behind us. They have 100%. They have. But yeah, Luton finished quite far back in the playoffs, didn't they? When they beat, was it Cov in the final, and Luton were the best team out of that bottom three. They approached the Premier League with a much better philosophy than the rest of them did, and they finished above them. So I get that to an extent, but what Luton tried to do, which I think was really impressive from Luton, they tried to match the Premier League physicality. Luton were a really good blueprint, and that's probably because they felt that they could go that way. If you to look at a blueprint, it's that. Luton are the perfect blueprint. But what you need is big, physical, athletic players. You need to make your home ground a fortress. And what they didn't have was the X factor, which hopefully we'll have. I hope that we have that X factor. Luton didn't have that. But what they did in terms of the stylistic approach to the Premier League was perfect. They would try to bully teams. And what they finished 6 points off, 6 points off with that Luton team, which has just been relegated again, by the way. But what they had, in my opinion, was players who could deliver. Ross Barkley can deliver the ball exceptionally well. And then you've got Adebayo, you've got Carlton Morris, you've got Bell from the back, you've got players, Mengi, you've got players in and around who are physically and aerially very decent. And that's what Luton played on. But you've got players like Ross Barkley and Alfie Doughty who can deliver the ball. What do we not have right now? So you've got Anton Stach who can deliver the ball, but ideally you'd want Stach in the box. You need someone maybe like an Alfie Doughty on that left-hand side who can deliver the ball as a rotation option. You need a Gustavo Hamer. Sorry, I know he's not. I know a lot of you are like, no, he's not good enough for Leeds. He is good enough for Leeds. There are rumours that he doesn't want to leave Sheffield, but he wants to play top-level football, which is basically just saying everything we've always known. I've seen Sheffield United fans saying that he doesn't want to leave Sheffield, but his ambition is to play at the top flight. So what that means is, if a top flight bid came in, he would leave, but he likes Sheffield. Okay, well you're like Leeds, mate, and you've 40 minutes down the road, so you can stay in Sheffield if you want, if you love it that much. But you need players. If we're to go down that athletic physicality route where we're going to have those incremental margins increasing when it comes to set pieces defensively. I've mentioned to you guys that the bottom three last season were in the bottom 5 when it came to set pieces, which is criminal, but also offensively. If you're able to get those incremental improvements in that area, get a real good value, 70-80% win sort of completion and efficiency record when it comes to set pieces in the opposition box and cause teams real problems, that's brilliant. And then defensively you're all right as well because you've got monsters at the back. But you have to get a player in who can deliver the ball into the box. We don't have that. We've not had that in years. A player who can deliver the ball into the box. People always say, "Oh, what about Pablo?" Pablo wasn't great from corners. He wasn't great from corners and set piece deliveries, dead ball situations. Pablo had an unbelievable efficiency when it came to just being X factor and pulling things out the hat. Of course, we all look at Bristol City start of the season, I believe it was, when he put a free kick in the back of the net. We beat him 3-0. Oh, no, that was when he put it onto his left foot, wasn't it? But still, Pablo has scored free kicks, but the efficiency from the balls into the box weren't great from him. We've not had a dead ball specialist in such a long time. So it's all well and good getting you Anton Stach in, who can deliver a ball, by the way, but you want him in the box. It's all well and good getting these players in who can give you that advantage on set pieces, but you've got to have someone who can deliver the ball into the box. We cannot have this scenario that we've had, and we still had last season, where you're putting the ball in and it's hitting the first man. You do that, there is no point. And if you do that in the Premier League and you're wasting opportunities like that, when you're going to be camped in your own box defending, you're wasting opportunities to get the ball into the box and be efficient and gain the advantage there against some of the big teams as well. And you waste that by hitting the frigging first man with someone like Dan James, Brendan Aronson, Joe Rothwell from last season as well, Junior Firpo at one point, who was taking corners for a couple of games. You can't do it. You cannot do that. So you have to get a dead ball specialist in. I think someone like that is Gus Hamer. You got to get someone in like that, and who can do the other thing as well. Let's have a last dead ball specialist was Ian Hart. Honestly, mate, you're probably not far off. You're probably not far off. As I say, the Pablo Hernandez thing is completely overblown. Pablo, I absolutely adored him. One of my favorite players. I've named my dog after Pablo Hernandez, for goodness sake. But from corners, a lot of the time it wasn't good enough. 50%, 50% ratio, really. Reported Hamer leaving Sheffield United and moving to Eindhoven is not very big. That's because Hamer is tempted by a switch to the Premier League, where Leeds are interested party. Where was that, Lee? Good lad, mate. Cheers for that. Been saying that for years. We need a specialist. 100%. 100%. We've not had that. JBL says, I'm closing the chat. It's too much doom and gloom for me. Fair enough, mate. Stach and Longstaff will bring physicality and experience to our midfield. Stack the box. That's it. That's what we've got to do. Stack the box. Alfie Dougherty delivering the ball on a sixpence also. So that's what you need, everybody. It's all well and good. It's all well and good getting these tall players in. If you have not got anybody, which has been our major problem for the past however many years, I can't even remember how many years, of delivering the ball into the box consistently on the penalty spot, or just between the edge of the area in the penalty spot, of course, near post balls. If you've got a custom corner and someone's going to flick it onto the back post, or back post deep balls in, you have to be able to do it. And if you don't do that, then there's no point in getting all these big players in from an offensive standpoint. Obviously, you're not just bringing big players in to help on that level, but it's a massive standpoint. It looks like Leeds have looked at Luton and thought that is a way of getting closer, from my perspective anyway. Yeah, Rafinha, good shout. Snodgrass is a really good shout as yeah. I'd say Snodgrass because I think Rafinha had a whip on him, but it was just fast delivery, wasn't it? It was fast delivery from Raf. Every time I saw Raf put the ball in, it would very much not have that variance of someone that you want on a set piece. And that was when he was at Leeds, by the way. He's developed hugely now. We all know that. Okay. Now I've got an image. I've got an image that I want to put in your head. Okay? Are you ready for the image of this goalkeeper who Leeds United are interested in? Leeds United are interested in the biggest player of all time. It is the guy, Michael from Hot Fuzz. That's right, everybody. Leeds interested in, and we're going to keep this on screen, Leeds interested in Vanja Milinkovic-Savic now, or Milinkovic-Savic. Now, this guy could be the scariest man I have ever seen. And I've been to Burnley away. He could be the scariest man I have ever seen. Now, if you're not aware of who this guy is, Serie A goalkeeper, Torino, could be one of the best penalty goalkeepers I have ever seen. And the reason behind that is because he's 6'8", stands tall. I think on 1v1 situations is a great, gets some serious vigor on when the ball is hit him. He has to palm the ball away. It's not just a tap round the sides. It doesn't matter. He seems to get his palm, those big brutish palms, on every single cross that comes in, every single ball that comes in. It's a palm away and it goes out for a throw in. This guy is a brute. Penalty saving decent. Reflexes look really good as well. One of the best goalkeepers in Serie A last season, I would say. Handling, obviously, because of his height, is outrageous anyway, because he just soars above everyone. And genuinely, when he's handling the ball, he gets to about 6'2". Positioning seems to be really good. When you're looking at highlights of him as well, seems to, as I've just mentioned before, stands tall, stands powerful, doesn't go down too early, which we've seen with so many goalkeepers. Elan Melier. So many goalkeepers when it comes to just going down too easily, and then it makes the midfielder, the striker's choice on that goal, a 12-yard space 10 times easier. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic stands tall. It's 19 million euro release clause. Can I sell that to you again? A 19 million release clause. Napoli don't deem him worth that value. Can Leeds United go in and get a 6'8" goalkeeper, bring Stacky Boy in, 6'4", Gabby Gudmundsson is going to be the short one of the group at around about 5'11". But shout out to our short kings. As I've said there, 19 million release clause. Michael from Hot Fuzz, one of the scariest men I have ever seen. Potentially. Michael Armstrong. There's got to be something. There has got to be something in there where Leeds United do something. I don't know. Probably Vanja would be highly offended by that. But there's got to be something in if we do get in the sign-in announcement. There's got to be some Hot Fuzz reference. Surely. Surely. But yeah, he is a beast, an absolute beast. So that would be an interesting character. That would be an interesting character. Two, two, 2.2 meters. Meters. Yeah. Dan James looking up at this guy. 6'9", some people are saying. Do any of these big lads start who we've signed apart from Beal? Stach does, mate. 100%. 100%. Yeah, Anton Stach definitely starts. Beal starts. I still want to see him in a back three. Still want to see Leeds in a back three. I think Rodon, Beal, and Strauch in a back three. Gudmundsson, I see more of a left wing back anyway. However, he's a better defender, better in the duels than Junior Firpo. A better success rate at the top level as well. But yeah, I prefer us to go there as well. Would be happy with the signing of Milinkovic-Savic. Yarp. Definitely, mate. Hot Fuzz references. Love it. He's a bearded, tatted giant. The thing is, imagine coming up against him. Imagine coming up against him at a penalty. And if you guys haven't seen, go watch this guy in penalty situations. Some of the penalties that have been taken against him are world-class penalties. They're top-class penalties. But he's just massive. He's absolutely massive. If he guesses the right way, you always think, don't you? If you postage stamp it, I was always taught that if you get it in the side netting, just get it in the side, it'll always go in. Aim for the post. There's a likelihood it'll just touch that side netting and go in. Doesn't matter with this guy because some of these penalties he's faced at Torino this season in particular, he just gets his palm to it. So he's a real issue. So yeah, Scrib says, who's going to create goals for Leeds in the Premier run? More to the point score goals. 3 transfers at the moment. Nobody interested in them other than Leeds. Dude, it's the 3rd of July. The window closes on the 1st of September. So 2 and a bit months left. I understand what you're saying. But what I would say to you is a week is a long time in football. And it's not really been the Leeds United way to do things in a week, but they're going to have to do stuff in a week. They're going to have to start doing stuff in a week. So if they brought in Gudmundsson, which I think they have / will / have, I should say. If they bring in Gudmundsson, that's one. If they bring in Anton Stach, that's another. And they can be done very, very quickly. If they do that, then they move on to it. The big positions for this football club are a goalkeeper and a centre forward. I've always said it. If they go and get Michael Armstrong from Torino, or let's say they get Lucas Perri, or if they get Nick Pope or whatever. If they do that, and then they get Rodrigo Muniz, and they're able to do that in quick fashion, and then they just dot a little bit of spice, a little bit of salt over it, and go get Igor Pejao. That is what Stach, Gudmundsson, a GK, Muniz, and Pejao. They'd be big additions, very big additions. But that's 5 players. 5 players in 6-7 weeks, signing a week. That's not beyond the realms of possibilities for me, especially with how quickly you've seen the likes of Sunderland move for up 3 players in 2 days, you know? So, yeah, there we go. Absolutely massive indeed. Love how you use his character from Game of Thrones, from Hot Fuzz, and not the one from Game of Thrones. The one in Hot Fuzz, mate, he seems taller. I think it's because he stood next to Simon Pegg. So yeah, I can't have the one in Game of Thrones. He just and plus, like in Game of Thrones, he's got hair, you know. So put him next to Nonto. He does look like Thanos a little bit. Jammy says thanks for continuous content through the off season. God, anytime. This joke we thought, Jammy, I thought I'm gonna have a break. I've not had a break. From the end of the season, we've been going hour-long streams every day. Every day. So rack those likes up, everybody. Do me a solid. And listen, we're going to take a little bit of a break for our sponsors. Now, do you like saving money? Do you like buying things cheaper? Shop G&O, everybody. You saw the advertisement at the beginning of the video. You can sign up with a membership for Shop G&O where you get discounted rates, rewards, and gifts. We're going to be uploading things to Shop G&O. I have an active position with this e-commerce site as well. It's ran by a fantastic Leeds fan with a very, very good heart. We've already got a shop listed on there as well. It's a very new product, but it is the Pet Factory. Shout out to everybody at the Pet Factory. And if you list your shop on there, you will get a shout out from me at One Leeds throughout the season, which obviously gets your business out to multiple people. The reason I'm doing this as well is it's got cheaper rates than Amazon, Vinted, and eBay, everybody. You can make money as well by listing your shop, as I've just mentioned, for cheaper rates. Make sure you do that, everybody. It is well worth it. Do not be listing your shop, if you do have one, like the Pet Factory we're doing, on Amazon or eBay or Vinted. This is ran by a Leeds United fan as well. It is growing. It's going to be a big one. And that's why I've agreed to let them sponsor One Leeds, of course. Now, match bingo as well, everybody. Match bingo. Women's Euros, okay? The club championships that we're all kind of getting used to right now. You can get involved via the One Leeds link in the description below. 5 cards for the price of 4, and they've lowered the deposit. You know, if you put your deposit in £5, you get a tenner back. Why would you not? Why would you not? Link in the description below. Get involved. Why not? Okay, can't wait for the 49ers to finish signing players for Rangers so they can concentrate on us. I think it's different, mate. I think it's different. If they're focusing on Rangers and signing Rothwell and other players like that, come on. Not for me. Just want deals done early, so not having a full squad for preseason isn't used as an excuse for poor results like other years. Dathy says, in Leeds today, Connor, having a breakfast in the Cozy Club. Watch the stream. I'm a big fan of that, Datty. Now, what I'd ask you is, what are you having for breakfast? Do you know what I've been getting into? Maybe it's because suddenly I'm South American. I've got my River Plate jersey. I've got a Boca Juniors one coming as well, which I've definitely not overpaid for. Also, I've been getting into acai bowls. Has anybody had an acai bowl? Really good stuff. Really good stuff. And I'm probably going to have another one this morning as well. So, yeah, if you've not had an acai bowl before, get involved and I drink yerba mate. I am just a South American. Call me Canario Migiligano. Connor, has Shop Gino sponsored you a car yet? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Connor needs a car. They might be doing, mate. We'll have to wait and see. I'm only joking. Just starting the stream, agree on Jota, puts things in perspective. Was going to ask when's the next hardline with Gabe. Thank you so much, Henry. So they will be on. We will be doing the hardline on Sunday evening. Yes, we will be doing that then, mate. Sorry, it's been a bit here, there, and everywhere. I've been away. Gabe's been away. It's been very difficult. In the off season, it's really difficult to get your live stream sorted. Hopefully, we'll have something next season sorted with Brownie, with Gabe, with maybe some other guests. We've got the fan forum coming back as well. We'll have everything that you used to have and probably more bits as well. So keep on tune with that on the second channel as well. Guys, we've got some big things coming on the second channel. Some really big streams on there, so you might like that one out as well. Datty is Irish for David Connor. Sorry, Davey, my bad. Look, sometimes you just got to expect everything on this channel, so I apologize. I apologize for that one. Okay, let's move on. Should really know that. To the next one. We spoke about Krstovic. We spoke about Cresswell. We spoke about Lucas Perri. We've spoke about Timothy Weah. We've spoke about Gudmundsson. I think it's going to be a done deal. We spoke about Stach, and we've spoken about Michael Armstrong. I want to end it on something. We are in the realm of discussion. We are in the realm of debate. We are in the realm of discourse. The absolute treble D that One Leeds provides. My question is this guy. And I'm going to get it on screen. And I want you all to stick around. I want you all to let me know what you think. Okay. I'm going to let it marinate. We're doing the marinate. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. The reason I'm putting this guy on screen, I saw something from a podcast. I'm going to name the podcast. Talking about Jack Harrison and talking about In fact, we'll mention the podcast. I do like it. Don't go to bed just yet. I do like the podcast. Got Popey on. And they were mentioning that we've just got to get used to it. Got to get used to Jack Harrison. Got to get used to the fact that he's a squad option and he's a very good squad option at the Premier League. They were the words. And it just screams to me that I don't know whether or not there's little tip-offs there as well. That Jack Harrison is going to be integrated back into this Leeds side. Why? Because no one will take him because he's been nowhere near good enough. I feel like that should have been brought into debate, and we encourage debate. I just disagree with the lads. I'd like to know why he is a good squad option. They were saying that he'd be good at left back. I will not, absolutely not for me. I always said that Jack Harrison would have been a better left back. I always said that he would have been a better left back because he was so poor going forward. In my opinion, the inconsistency was rife. He was a cluster player. He'd score 3 goals, or maybe he'd score 4 goals in 2 matches, and then you wouldn't see anything from him for 12 matches when Leeds desperately needed something. Massive credit to him for the Brentford goal, 100%. But that for me was the Rafinha show. Again, there were people back then saying Harrison was more important than Rafinha. Guarantee. And look, as I say, it's opinions, but it's just complete false. It's completely false. The numbers were quite similar with Rafinha. However, Rafinha's impact on proceedings was so at a ridiculous level in terms of players trying to mark him out of the game, in terms of him getting leads up the pitch, in terms of his transitional play. Rafinha was everything. He was everything. And he made Jack Harrison better when it came to the clusters of goals that he had, of course. But he is such a weak footballer. The conversations I've had with Everton fans this season about him, because I've been interested about his progress. It's exactly what we said 5 years ago when people got upset with us here on One Leeds, and you guys all agreed when we were calling him hot and cold Harrison. People were saying, "Oh, it's Connor. It's utter disrespect." No, it's not. It's exactly what he is and exactly what he's always been. I don't think he's a Premier League footballer. I think he's been exceptionally lucky. I think he's delivered to an extent, but I think overall his package in the Premier League, as has been highlighted this season, by Everton and them not taking a chance on him because they know he's not good enough, is he's a hard worker. He's got energy, endeavour, will run. I'm just really praying. I'm really praying that Farker, and I've got a bad feeling about it. I've got a bad feeling about it. And this is the only negative of the video, really. We've had a laugh, but I just do. And everything that happened, his mum saying what she said and him wanting out immediately. And we've had this with Brendan, right? We've had this with Max, where their image has been, I mean, there's Leeds fans now absolutely adore Brendan Aronson. Their image, because of being back at Leeds, and it's that sentiment again, but have been back at Leeds and effectively saying, "Oh, we're sorry, we're here to fight for the shirt." This guy didn't want to fight for the shirt, didn't want to. And there's been a redemption with like Firpo even, but this guy's just not good enough. He's not good enough. And I'm just so sick of seeing Jack Harrison. I mean, the contracts we've given out in the past however many years, Bamford and Harrison being the peak of the powers when it's come to Leeds United's contract given out. But I've got a feeling that this is going to be a go this season, because I don't think they're going to be able to shift him unless there's like an MLS. That's the level, an MLS club coming in for him. But aside from that, I just don't see where he goes. No Prem clubs come in for him. No Prem clubs. Sunderland will aim higher, way higher than him. Burnley will aim way higher than him. So I don't know. I mean, look at those statistics. Goals per 90, 0.04. And he had 38 appearances. 38, So yeah, man, I'm just. Can we like a lot of the chat saying, can we get him to Rangers? That has got to be something we can facilitate. It's got to be something we can facilitate. Get him to Rangers. There's got to be something there. I just hope with Farker, because we know Farker does like that type of player as well, who presses hard, who fights, who's got the passion, who has got energy. I've got a feeling Farker's going to reintegrate him. But get him to He doesn't want to go. We all know that with Jack Harrison. He thinks he's a Premier League footballer. We all figured that out when he left Leeds, and we heard all the reports about him, wanting to play at this level and not being interested. But he is. I used to get quite a lot of bite back for this guy, but for 4 or 5 years, after seeing him in that first season, just knew immediately he's nowhere near good enough. And I know his numbers. You look at his numbers, but numbers don't tell the full story. They just don't with Jack Harrison. Mr. Inconsistent. Mr. Inconsistent. So I I just think as an option on the bench, I mean, you put him on the bench, I guess, just put him on there and don't ever bring him on. But if he starts becoming part of proceedings again, I'm just I can't deal with it. But is it a homegrown thing again? Is it a homegrown thing? I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know. Not for me. But yeah, all you guys are right. Just Rangers. Get him to Rangers. Please. In my honest opinion, it depends how he responds to the fall from grace. If he swallowed his ego and does an Aronson, he could surprise us all. I think the difference is, Curtis, this is the Premier League. You know what I mean, mate? This is the Premier League. So, so it's not the grace that he's going to be given is very different to what Brendan Harrison. Brendan Harrison was lucky that we're in the championship because there wouldn't have been if Brendan Harrison scored what? I mean, he scored 2 goals in the championship, got what 8 assists. That's what 10, 11 goal contributions in the championship. And he played the most minutes, I think, outside of Elland Melier, or sorry, outside of Joe Roden, I should say. And he got 10 and 11 goal assists in a number 10 role. If Jack Harrison was given the championship grace, I would say that he'd maybe get similar numbers. If Brendan Harrison was to come back and Leeds were in the Premier League and he was to play all those minutes from the start, I think he'd probably get a goal and 2, 3 assists, which is exactly what he got for Leeds United in the Premier League when he had all those minutes when he was signed for us. So I don't think there is an upward trajectory personally when it comes to Brendan Harrison. Anyway, I think I'd keep hold of him for an impact sub, and I think he could sort of embrace that chaos factor at points for Leeds United. But I've not seen enough development in his game. Brendan this year, I just think it's been useful that he's had a manager who's wanted to play him and you know, apparently the manager still wanted a number 10, but he's had a manager that's wanted to play him. But I don't think there's been a massive development in what we see in Brendan Harrison, and there hasn't with Jack Harrison. There's not been a refinement of his game whatsoever. He's the exact same Jack Harrison. You know, how is this based on a meritocracy that Jack Harrison plays for Leeds United in the Premier League after scoring 1 goal and getting no assists in 38 games? You know, so it's just one of those where I'm hoping Leeds are able to get him off the books, and we'll have to wait and see on that one. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see, mate. Right, guys, what we'll do is we will leave it there. We've been going on around about an hour and 2 minutes. Before you leave, everybody, can we get to beyond 2,000 likes? We got to 2,000 yesterday. You guys are absolutely smashing it. Check out the second channel. Check out the Patreon. We had 3 new members yesterday. You can get involved in our group chat if you fancy that, which is basically mired by my voice notes every single day. But there's a lot of good discussion, discourse, and debate over there as well, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm Conor McGilligan. This has been The Room Mill. This has been your favorite transfer show and show in general on the Leeds United Space.